What's up YouTube? It's Nick here coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to update you guys on my Roth IRA at Vanguard. If you're new here, this is my mini-series where I track the changes to my Roth IRA over time. My hope is to compile a list of videos over the next 30 years that track those changes to my Roth IRA as I make consistent contributions over time. Also, please know that I am not a professional investment advisor, and anything I say or do in my videos should not be construed as investment advice. My opinions are my own. I'm just simply trying to document the process and the trajectory of the balance of my Roth IRA over time through this series. Hopefully after 30 plus years, the results will be amazing and it will encourage younger people to start investing sooner and more consistently. So let's jump right into it. This week I contributed another $230 to my Roth, which is at Vanguard, which I absolutely love Vanguard, but honestly that's a whole nother video for another time, as I could talk about Vanguard forever. But $230, again, is what I invested this week. I'm paid on a bi-weekly basis, which means I get paid 26 times throughout the whole year from my job. So $230 gets me close to the maximum of $6,000 you can invest in your Roth IRA for the year. It's actually a little bit short when you do the math on 26 times $230. So towards the end of the year, I make a couple contributions that are a little bit higher than $230. So it gets me to the full $6,000 maximum that I can invest in the Roth IRA. Now, this is not my whole investment portfolio by any means. I actually have quite a bit of money invested in taxable accounts also at Vanguard. I have a little over $140,000 invested there. I'm also the owner of Faucet & Lockett Portable Self-Storage, which is this truck and trailer you see behind me, where I haul portable self-storage containers and rent them out to my customers on a monthly basis. I also own 3 rental properties and invest aggressively in the stock market. With Vanguard, I have my $230 bi-weekly contribution set up automatically. It's actually pretty convenient. You can set it up right in your Vanguard account so that it times up exactly with when you get paid. So again, mine's on a bi-weekly basis, so every 2 weeks on payday, Vanguard automatically drafts my bank account for $230 so that I'm consistently making those contributions and paying myself first. Now, other than the $230 out of every paycheck, I'm also investing somewhere between $500 and $570 either into my taxable Vanguard accounts or into my business. Right now, that $230 settles into my money market fund, which is essentially a good way to think about it is basically your bank account within your brokerage, or the checking account. It's not a checking account, but it is your settlement fund. So when you put money into your Vanguard account, or whether you have a Charles Schwab or a TD Ameritrade account, you're gonna have a settlement fund that your money comes into when you contribute to the account. You can invest directly into mutual funds, but I like having it go right into my settlement fund, and then I can make the investment decisions later. Currently, I currently have the cash settling into my settlement fund on purpose so that I can make the investment decisions later when I when I log into the account. I do this so I can build cash and then direct the cash into the investments I want, because one of the ETFs I'm buying right now is currently over $300 a share. So $230 doesn't quite buy me a full share. So I have to make 2 contributions before I can afford to buy another share of this ETF. Currently, I've been building positions in 2 main positions within my Roth IRA. Those are the Vanguard Information Technology ETF and the Vanguard Real Estate Index Fund. My strategy with this is to build positions in 3 to 5 core Vanguard ETF or mutual fund products. And then once I've built those base positions in each of those 3 to 5 products, I'll continue to dollar cost average into those products for the next 30 plus years. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what dollar cost averaging is, it's the idea of consistently investing the same amount of cash into a base investment product periodically over a long period of time. What that does is you end up buying less shares when the shares are more expensive and buying more shares when the shares are less expensive. This is proven to be a really effective way to purchase stocks and investment products over a long period of time. There's been study after study that show how beneficial this is. In fact, it's most of the time better than if you have a large pool of money, for example, $5,000, $10,000. Most of the time it's better just to consistently invest a little bit at a time rather than just dumping all of that money into an investment at one time. Once I've built a large enough position in each one of these core holdings, I'll continue to dollar cost average into them for the rest of my life, but I'll also begin setting aside a small portion of my contributions so I can invest directly into specific stocks and securities that interest me. Now, you're probably better off just investing in index funds or ETFs that are broadly diversified, but if you like to invest in individual securities too, that's okay. Just don't do it with all your portfolio. Just do it with a small portion of it, and invest in things you know. I actually invest in quite a few real estate or REITs, real estate investment trusts or REITs, specifically some self-storage ones, because I'm in the self-storage business and I happen to know a lot about the self-storage business. So I think that gives me an advantage when investing in these stocks. So far, as of my last contribution in November of 2020, my Roth IRA balance is $7,290.27. Also, so far in 2020, I've invested $5,540 into my Roth IRA. Over the next 2 paychecks, I'll be able to max out my Roth IRA and get to that full $6,000 in contributions and then start all over in 2021. Now, as I mentioned before, that's not my whole investment portfolio. I have over $140,000 currently invested in taxable accounts at Vanguard, in addition to my business and my rental portfolio. But again, this specific mini-series is just to track the performance of my Roth IRA over time and the contributions I make to it. I really want to show people how you can build pretty considerable wealth over a long period of time in a wonderful product like a Roth IRA, and you don't have to be making a lot of money. In fact, Roth IRAs have contribution limits or income limits that phase out over time as you make more money. But if you consistently invest into a Roth IRA or even a regular IRA over the course of your career, good chance you're going to have a pretty good retirement, especially if you and your spouse, are able to max out both your IRAs. It can really add up to a large amount over time. I'm hoping that, with my time horizon of 30 plus years and my wife's, that we'd be able to get over $1 million each in our IRAs. So hopefully I'll be able to get over $1 million in my Roth IRA, and then hopefully my wife will also be able to build $1 million plus position in her Roth IRA, because she's actually about 1.5 years younger than me. So an even longer investment horizon, because I'm only 29 years old. Just to give you guys a little bit more background about what I do, I work as the business manager for the city of Corey, which is where I live in Pennsylvania. I work as the business manager, which is effectively an accounting and a finance position, which works well with my background. I actually went to school at West Virginia University for finance. After I graduated, I moved to Philadelphia and started working at Vanguard for a couple years as a financial analyst. I loved it there. Again, I love Vanguard, but it got to a point where it's time to move home, which was about 5.5 hours away from work. So I left Vanguard, moved back to Corey, Pennsylvania, where I took a job as a commercial insurance agent. I worked that job for about 2 years, and then I left that job to run my storage business full time. I just wasn't in love with the insurance world, and I'm really loving my storage business. So I quit to run that full time. But 6 months later, as a result of my insurance job and getting to know the city manager of the city of Corey, he had lunch with me and offered me a position as a business manager for the city, which was more of a true accounting and finance position compared to what I was doing in insurance. So I thought it was a pretty awesome opportunity. I was going to be able to do that job while continuing to run my storage business. So I said, what the heck, let's take it. So here I am, I'm working as a business manager. I love the job. It's really fun getting to work within my municipality and do things to try and improve our small town. Gotta turn the lights on. While I was at Vanguard, I also studied hard to pass the first 2 levels of the Chartered Financial Analyst program. I still haven't taken the third test or the third level, and the reason for that is because that was right around the time I was moving home and getting into insurance. And I really wasn't sure if I was going to need or be using the CFA moving forward. So it doesn't expire, so I decided to take a break from it. But I would really like to go back eventually and finish up the 3rd level. And who knows, maybe take some other financial tests as well, maybe get my CPA license and some other, you know, financial designations. But we'll see where this channel takes me. When I was in college at West Virginia University, that was actually when I started my portable self-storage business. What had happened was I'd taken a few trips to Florida with my dad, and he has a friend down there who is a very successful accountant. He sold his firm years ago in his early 50s for, who knows, probably millions of dollars. But ever since then, he's been doing nothing but large commercial real estate deals and is killing it. And one of the properties he owns down there in Orlando is a large boat and RV storage facility. I'm talking a couple 100,000 square foot of storage space where a bunch of beautiful RVs and boats are kept. And I had a chance to tour that property when I was in high school and noticed that there was only one person running the whole facility, and it was just earning a ton of money. And I fell in love with the idea of storage back then. So I really knew that I wanted to be in self-storage, but in high school and early college, I had no way of investing in a storage facility or building one. It takes hundreds of thousands of dollars on the low side to build a facility or to buy one. So I was really researching how I could get into the business on a small scale and start at a small level. And that's when I stumbled on portable self-storage. So I saved up money, I bought my first truck and my first set of 4 units my sophomore year at West Virginia University. I was coming home almost every weekend to build these units over, oh gosh, it was probably 6 or 7 months that it took me to build my first 4 storage units. But as soon as I got them built, I got them rented out. And that was to start a Box It and Lock It. Ever since then, I've been continuing to work at Vanguard, my insurance job, now as a business manager of the city of Corey, while growing this storage business on the side. Like I said, I started with 40 units, but today I'm up to 96 units, and in the next couple weeks, I'm closing on a bowling alley that'll be converting to indoor climate-controlled storage, where I'll be able to get 118 additional more units on the inside of that property, plus another 50 to 100 of my portable units on the outside. So I've been very fortunate that my business has been growing. So I come from a pretty small town where people don't make a ton of money. People live pretty simple lifestyles. In fact, Corey, Pennsylvania's poverty rate is over 22%. I've been passionate about personal finance and investing since high school. And my whole purpose with this channel is to provide some good financial content and education and prove to people that you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to go be a professional athlete or get some big wig job to build wealth. I've been pretty fortunate to build a good amount of wealth at 29, but only because I've worked really hard for it, not because I have some crazy job. I don't work on Wall Street. I'm not some real estate agent in LA who sells one property and makes 60 grand commission on it. I currently only make $62,000 a year at my job as a business manager. But keep in mind, I've built a pretty good sizable passive income portfolio with stocks, my rental portfolio, and I have 96 portable self-storage units that rent on a monthly basis. So I do earn more money than $62,000 a year, but I work my butt off. I work 12-hour days routinely to have gotten to this point, and it's really starting to compound now and take off. But I tell you all that not to brag, not to be one of those losers who talks about how much money they make. I truly want to encourage younger people in America to start investing and saving and investing in their future at an earlier age. You really don't have to make that much money to build good long-term wealth. You can make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 the rest of your life, but if you're smart with your money, you can become a multi-millionaire. And I hope that I'm going to prove that with my channel here. So if that interests you, please do me a huge favor, smash that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get notified of my new videos, and stay tuned for more. Actually, the reason I'm standing in this warehouse today is because I just got done doing some work. So check out what I just did today.
No, no, no. Yo.